Well, folks, today we're really honored to be interviewing the #1 person in the Department of Agriculture, one of the most important people of Pennsylvania, Secretary Russell Reddick.
Representative, good to see you. Thanks for your kind words. It's a pleasure to work with you, and welcome to the Farm Show.
Yeah, we work close together on a lot of things, and today this is the 100th year of the Farm Show, and there's things different this year. What's different?
Well, we really put an effort to do two things. One is we were challenged by how do you represent 100 years of Farm Show in a show, right? We felt it really was a milestone and important to sort of capture that. So you'll see history walls around the complex that capture both the history of agriculture, the history of the show, and the complex itself. And secondly, here where we are today, this is sort of a farm-to-shelf display. Concept is we wanted to show the public how does food go from production to consumption, to the farm, to the grocery store shelf. That's a bit, you and I understand that, but for most of the public, they don't see that. So they see it here at the Farm Show.
That's a great point because I currently have a little fruit orchard at home, and people like to buy local. And from the farm to the shelf is so very important because we have to make sure the food that we put out there is quality. It's locally grown, it helps the local economy, and I'd like you to talk a little bit about the farm to shelf and also maybe the PA preferred products.
Yeah, thank you. So we've really taken the farm to shelf and picked 4 commodities. I mean, you know the diversity of Pennsylvania agriculture. You can put a lot of different things in this display. We've done this sort of pod area, as we call it, with apples, potatoes, dairy, and pork. 4 staples of my diet, but also staples to Pennsylvania agriculture, and said, let's show the potato planter, the process, the packaging, the shelf. So you'll see that here. We're going to keep growing this area. We think we wanted to try it this year a little bit just to see how it would work. That's really been well received. But it's built on the frame of the Pennsylvania Preferred, which has been around for about 10 years or so. It is sort of it's the good housekeeping seal of approval on Pennsylvania product. You'll see the keystone with a check mark. That signifies it was produced here, processed in Pennsylvania. So it gives credit to the producer for the good products, but it gives the recognition in the marketplace of Pennsylvania products for consumers.
Great. That's important. Now, also, so we're here 100 years later. So we go all the way back to when this event first started taking place in Pennsylvania. So what's the history? I'm sure there's booths set up here now to show the people that. And can you talk about that a little bit, please?
Yeah, so there's a fascinating history. So the first show began 1916-17. Secretary of Agriculture, Secretary Patton at the time, began to have these conversations in Berks County, Lancaster County, sort of south central Pennsylvania, about how do we really promote agriculture? And at that time, nearly 50% of our population was involved in agriculture. So very different time than today, about 2%. So the show began, and what most folks have missed, while we have a farm show complex that carries the name of the show, the first farm shows were downtown Harrisburg, scattered around 10 buildings. So when you came in by train, you came in by car in 1916-17, you were given a map to find your way around Harrisburg, to look at the different displays. Today, of course, 100 years on, we've got a complex, 23 acres under roof, an amazing show. But it's maintained that marketplace feel that started in the first show, and 100 years later, it's a different marketplace, but it still has the same sort of tenet.
You know, as I walk around here, I see a lot of young people here. Actually, even youngsters as young as 9 years old, they're farm families, they're here with their cows and they're just playing. These kids are excited, they're enthused, they're our future farmers. And I'm just wondering, what about the kids that aren't farm kids? What are we doing to educate those children in the schools about farming and agriculture?
Yeah, so you've just touched on the real reason for the farm show. Right, we love the farm youth who are here and very competitive. They're in the county fairs and the show rings here at the complex and the family living area. But the reality is you have a lot of jobs in agriculture that don't require sort of a production agriculture background, right? But how does somebody really understand that? How do you even know that that's a possibility, a career possibility? So we put a lot of effort on the workforce development, looking at ag education, looking at the farm to school sort of initiatives we've undertaken. The goal is to raise the awareness by anybody in the elementary years, middle school, about agriculture being a meaningful career opportunity for them. It could be in conservation, it could be in food processing, it could be as a farmer. We want them, we need them. But we want to show that whole spectrum.
See, I look at myself. I grew up in, I grew up in West Reading, a suburb of Reading, and now I live out in the country. I have a small farm and an orchard, and if I wasn't exposed to it, I would have probably never done this. And I just like digging in the dirt, right, to say it in common words.
No, it's a good feeling, right? It's very therapeutic, right? Sure. But you also get the gratification of producing something. You understand the seasons of agriculture well. Part of what we have to do, I think, in both the farm show and really throughout the rest of the year, is keep talking about agriculture both as what it is, as food and food provider, but we also have to remind the public that in addition to the food, you get jobs, you get the water recharge, you get a real quality of life bonus, right, by having agriculture here in Pennsylvania. That's part of the story.
It's really healthy too. It's healthy.
It's very
for
healthy.
In Berks County, one of the big things they keep talking about the dairy industry, which is big in our area, and of course here in this agricultural show and the farm show here, one of the big things is the milkshakes. And this year there's a new milkshake, and I already had one. They're really good. That was like the big secret here.
It was a big secret. It's funny. The Dairymen's Association are part of the farm show committees as we organize, and they began to talk about what they could do differently for the 100th show. And they said, we're really playing with this idea of having a new milkshake. We haven't done it in 60 years. They have vanilla and chocolate and maybe some variant of that. So they took on the task, and they reached out in the fall and said, do you want to know the flavor? And I said, no, I don't. I want to be able to say when someone asked, the new flavor? I don't know. So we were standing here last week with the announcement, amazed at the interest in a new shake here at the farm show. But give it a try. It's strawberry and cream.
Strawberry and cream. I drank one. They have excellent flavor.
Good.
So we talk about the Homegrown by Heroes program, which I'm going to be involved later today. You will as well. Veterans coming back, working their farms. Can you expand a little bit on that, please?
Yeah, this is one of those great changes. I think it's driven by a couple things. One, just this rediscovery of agriculture in society. It's also recognized as a great opportunity for folks who we were talking earlier about maybe weren't exposed to agriculture previously, but these veterans are returning. They see a real need. We have a real need. Those two things are coming together. The Homegrown by Heroes is a national campaign. Pennsylvania is the third state to join that. The difference for us is we have put the Homegrown by Heroes label with the Pennsylvania Preferred label. So when you look at our Pennsylvania label, you see both of those. And we thought that was important because it honors sort of the PA Preferred in Pennsylvania, ties it back, but also gives recognition to these products being produced and sold by veterans. Great opportunity. Today is Veterans Day here at the Farm Show. First time that we have ever done that at the Farm Show. 2% of our population is involved in production agriculture. It happens to be the same percentage of folks who serve in the armed forces. So 2% feed us and 2% protect us.
Well, I'm a veteran myself, and that's a credit to you to do that, and your whole organization, because veterans need to be recognized and they need to be acknowledged for what they do. One thing I was thinking about too was avian flu. It hasn't gotten here yet. I know you've been doing a lot to prevent that, and can you tell us a little bit about where are we with that right now?
Yeah, so just a note, I want to thank you first for hosting the producer meeting we had back in the summer and to talk about it and really raise the awareness of what high-path AI is and the concerns. We have been nationally credited by the U.S. Department of Agriculture for the good work that we've done in the outreach, because the biosecurity is really critical, and that's what has really protected us. We don't have it here in Pennsylvania yet, and every day without it's a good day. We don't want it. You and I have looked at those numbers and the devastation that's come in the mid part of the United States where they have had it. We don't have it. But we are entering this period of high risk. 90% of the positives for high-path AI in the other states that have had it, 22 states to date, 90% of the positives came January to March of last year. So we're very concerned about what will happen here. third largest poultry producing state. Berks County is right in the epicenter of that as well, both from a processing and production. So we're doing okay. But again, important every day to practice good biosecurity, keep the awareness level up. Let's try to get through this spring period.
Well, Mr. Secretary, I just want to say thank you very much for taking a few minutes to talk to the people of Berks County with me and to let them know that the Department of Agriculture is looking forward to working with the farmers in Berks County and continuing to expand and produce good products here in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And it's a credit to you and your entire staff.
Pleasure is mine to serve in agriculture, but want to say thanks to you for your leadership, both through the work of the legislature, but also just throughout the year in support of agriculture. Welcome to Farm Show.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.